advisor community, and welcome to 3-Question Thursday. On this Halloween day, we have a special treat for you. We have Darius Green here. He is an expert in office and industrial commercial real estate. So keeping with the Halloween theme, we have 3 spooky questions about commercial real estate. So, number 1, a scary bad lease can haunt a business for a long time, especially when that lease is 10 or more years. What are some warning signs businesses should look out for when considering a long-term lease?
Well, the things that I would like to warn businesses that I talk to and other businesses out there is in a long-term lease, you want to make sure that you understand the market before you go into those lease negotiations. And what I mean by that is a couple of things. One, you want to understand where the market is in the cycle. Are you in a rising market where lease rates are rising or have peaked, or are you in vacancy levels are low, or are you in a market that's going into a tenant-friendly market where you have an opportunity to really capture some savings on your lease rates? Once you understand that, the second thing is that's a big factor, right, in determining if you want to do a long-term lease, because a long-term lease may not be the best option if you're at the top of the market or a rising market. But there's a lot of other factors that go into that decision. However, if a long-term lease, meaning 10 or more years, is the best thing to do for your company, you want to make sure to try to build in as much flexibility as you can, because leases are static documents, and business has its ebbs and flows. So we recommend trying to build in at least one termination option in the negotiation process.
Yeah, a lease without a termination option, now that's something scary. All right, so number 2. So as an occupier advisor, what 3 things would you recommend doing before entering in the lease negotiation process to really avoid any nightmares?
That's a good question. I think the first thing that's important to do is understand the client's goals and objectives, understand what they're trying to accomplish with their business. And then secondly, I would say educating the client on the market as it stands, prior to going into that process. And then thirdly, coming up with a plan, a strategic plan that all the stakeholders buy in on with regards to what you're going to do when you move forward into the negotiation process and the site selection process.
So as you know, we're already at Halloween. This year has flown by. People lose track of deadlines all the time. But when it comes to your commercial real estate, you don't want to miss out on anything. So to stop those deadlines creeping up on you, how much time would you recommend before engaging a commercial real estate broker?
That is a great question. That's usually the number one mistake that I see most tenants and occupiers of space make, is they don't have enough time to truly maximize their opportunity in the negotiation process. It's the biggest gotcha out there. So as a rule of thumb, generally you want to say that the larger the footprint that you have in your office and your industrial space, the more time you want, more lead time you want to give yourself. So I would say if you're under 10,000 square feet, you want to be starting that process a minimum of about a year out. If you're over 10,000 square feet, you can start the process 2 years out, even longer. And the reason why, Olivia, is because number one, it takes a long time for these leases to negotiate these leases with the landlord, and you want to be able to maintain leverage. Number two, if tenant improvements or renovations are part of the picture, then you want to give enough time for those renovations to take place without putting in the jeopardy your negotiation leverage time. And so what I mean by that is it takes on average 6 to 9 months or more for a tenant improvement to be completed when you think about the permitting time, the design time, and the construction time. And then also, if you're a larger user, if there are no facilities in the market that actually meet your standards, you might have to do new construction, which takes even longer. That can take 18 months, 24 months, sometimes longer, depending on the scenario.
Think about opening day and then not having your tenant improvements complete, or even not having a place that's finished and ready for your team to move in. That would be a nightmare.
Truly scary when you don't have a place to live for your business to live.
Yeah. All right.
Or
Well,
very expensive.
for sure. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on 3 Question Thursday, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.